evening, everybody. My name is Venchakaraya. We bought commercial property on highway, Atlanta Highway, in the year 2014. What happened is, I think at that time, the tax and the amount of tax was not there. I think they were still mailing out, I believe, when we bought. So at that time, this tax, $1,764, supposed to be the city tax. That should be proportion between the seller and the buyer. And at the same time, we never received any letter from the city that we have to pay tax. We were under the impression the closing attorney has taken care of everything. We were not aware of anything. We are under the impression closing attorney is supposed to contact the city and get the amount. So, and we should pay, but we have not done it. So I researched, I found out it's not being paid. The question here is, this amount has to be proportion between the buyer and the seller. I'm the buyer, the seller needs to be paid portion of this. The second thing is, since we did not get any communication from the city since 2014, say 2015, 2016, 2017, we never aware of that we did not pay the tax.
So you haven't been paying taxes from
No, we are paying.
15, 16, 17, 18?
No, we paid the tax.
Okay.
But only 1 year.
I know exactly where you're going, and with the 14. And when I say that, you're exactly right. It was the lawyer's fault.
Yes.
It was definitely the lawyer.
Yes.
It's the lawyer's fault to do the research to make
Yes,
sure the
yes.
taxes are paid.
Right. It's not paid.
I've actually ran into that myself.
Yeah.
30-something years ago.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And I ended up paying tax.
That's what I came here to pay the tax.
Right.
I'm not.
The problem is the attorney.
All my point here is the amount of tax has to be reduced between.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. I apologize.
Go ahead.
The amount has to be proportion between the buyer and the seller. That is the amount. This is not the. It looks like this is the total amount, and the portion of this amount has to be paid by the seller. The second point I have is, since I have no communication, see there's a $188 interest, and also there's a penalty of $89.58. So that I request the Honorable Council and the Mayor to waive that one, because we've been paying our yearly taxes every year since 2015, 16, 17 until now. We never, we always paid on time. It's been clear. Except only this is the only year when we purchased the property, a lot of confusion happened. So this is my request to the council.
Well, I think, mayor and council members too can't remove anything from the book. Am I right about that, Thomas? So,
Is
it's
there
not
anything
up
we
to
do about
us
as
to,
far as the interest and those types of things?
Now, only I'm asking for interest and the penalty, because I have not been communicated with that I did not pay, because I'm not aware of that I did not pay.
okay.
Actually,
The interest and penalties from 14 were not on your 15, 16, and
No,
17
no.
tax bills?
No, sir. No,
Why is that?
I don't know, they're missed out.
Mine?
I can't speak for the past, but when we were on QS1, I don't know, what happened there, but most of when the new bills are generated for the taxes the new year, they didn't bring any prior balances on the new bill. So I'm not sure what happened to that. I cannot answer for that, but somebody should have asked for that. But when we did the new conversion into the new software in 17, that first year, because we converted in November, we were not able to. We didn't have enough time to for them to bring any prior balances. So 2017 taxes we did not get the prior years on the tax bill. But for 2018, we had enough time, and we brought over all the prior years that were still outstanding and added to the new bill to include it. So we have several people that, they have outstanding prior years that were not paid due to the same reason that we're speaking of tonight.
And those are particularly 2014?
Well, it varies, not just 2014. There's some years before that and after that also.
But we do somewhat recognize that the software that we were using did not facilitate the communications of the tax.
I'm not sure if anybody sent out any delinquent notices after the original bills went out, but I can answer for that because I wasn't, there.
I think what his
For the new
complaint
one.
is that he's gone 3 years without any knowledge
Yes.
of his delinquent tax.
Question, are you here appealing the interest and penalty only?
Plus, this amount, 1784, has to be proportioned, there'll be two
But
notices.
that's not between the buyer and seller. We had nothing to do with you buying you and selling. And I mean, we take a portion. I mean, if you go back and get the seller to give his half, and then you only out half, you go get back and get the seller his.
You could take them to court
Right.
to get him to pay
But
his part.
that's not between the city had nothing to do. That ever who dropped the ball at the closing is not our problem.
No, my point was in 2014, so the original owner supposed to have got the notice for the tax.
He most likely did, but he didn't, as long as you didn't, it wasn't paid, if he didn't have to pay it at the closing, he wasn't worried about it because he knew it was gonna reflect you. I mean, it's no doubt about it.
Anyway, that, I can understand that. Only thing is, the attorney might have made a mistake because we should have, collected from them and us both and paid to the city. So he made a mistake, I agree. But again, all I'm asking now is at this juncture, the interest and penalty should be waived so that I can pay the 2014 taxes.
I know.
I'm going to pay.
Okay, y'all,
One thing is-
any more questions on it?
If you're waiting. I'm just saying.
Let's
We don't need to
talk
vote.
one-on-one.
I know
We're not voting.
we're not gonna
Voting
vote on it.
Tuesday. Thank you.
Y'all think about it from now to Tuesday and decide what to do.
Well, I do have a question between now and Tuesday.
Okay?
It's gonna be now. Can we waive the penalty and interest? Because that is added.
The law said, the statute only deals with the taxes themselves.
Okay.
There's a 3-year look back period. Beyond 3 years, there's no refund. The only thing that can be refunded is anything that's been overpaid. So if the taxes, if they were properly assessed, and he owned the property on January 1 of that year, then whoever the owner was, they owe the taxes. This statute, and I haven't found a statute that deals with the penalties and the interest. Apparently they trained the clerks that the penalties cannot be waived.
Okay.
The interest can be. And I'll take a look at the DOR regulations and confirm that before Tuesday night. To make sure
I know that there have been situations like this. The city of Atlanta found that a whole hotel, I think it was the old Presidential Hotel, didn't pay taxes for years, and they went back.
You can go back it's one of those things, the taxpayer can only get a refund for 3 years, the taxing authority can go back 7 years. So if taxes have not been paid in the next 7 years, you go back and recover.
Let me clarify on this. We are talking about only 1 year,
Right.
2014. I paid 2015, 2016, 2017, then 2018. But only this year, we did not know whether we owe taxes or not.
So even,
They should have, on 2015, they should have added this to our bill, then we would have paid it, instead of paying interest and penalty.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Now, this is city tax only, how about the county tax? How did
We
it?
don't have any problem with it. We paid everything.
So,
Because,
so at closing, the county tax was paid.
yeah,
and
only
city's
the
tax-
city,
And
only
the
the
city
city.
tax
Yes.
is overlooked at the
Yes,
closing.
yes. No, they say, the attorneys are telling, at that time it was not ready. At the time of closing, the tax, the bill was not ready. That's what they are trying to tell.
And
Now, who's telling this? I mean, I'm asking.
Attorney.
And who's attorney?
Closing attorney.
And it was your, was you paying the closing attorney? Who paid the closing attorney at the closing?
I mean, we hired the attorney, we paid him, but he told, I asked my real estate agent to ask him, he told her that the bill was not ready at the time of closing. I mean, in the sense, they didn't know how much is going to be the city tax.
Let him look into it
Yeah.
and we'll. if
I mean,
it's
you know,
all right.
I'm just presenting this
Yeah.
to you.
but there's one more inquiry that I have, Thomas.
Yeah.
If it's reasonable to assume that he has not been at any time told that he owed this money,
We didn't know.
would it, I'm thinking fairness and equity and that type of stuff. As far as the penalty, we awarded that penalty when we discovered the shortfall, which was this year. And I'm wondering if really we're, because it's reasonable to assume that he was not communicated with. In other words, yes, his attorney dropped the ball. The attorney was his employee or was doing his work. But,
You got some thoughts?
but is
No,
it
I was
reasonable?
looking at
But
the
is it
question.
reasonable to assume that would it be fair to determine that there was no penalty?
But that would depend on whether the law says penalty shall be imposed or may be imposed.
So you're gonna research
I'm gonna
that?
take a look at whether it's a shall or a may.
But see, I do a lot of, all over Atlanta, everywhere we have real estate. But we never come across a situation like this. This is the first time.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in.
Did you fire that attorney?
Not yet.
I would do that.
Very good.
We're not paying next time.
Thank you for coming in. You have a question?
I'd like to back up with also what he's saying. We also had the same issue this year. When I got my taxes for the city, it had taxes from 2015. So we went back to our, the mortgage insured people that you go through when you go to closing.
Sure.
They said that the city claimed that there was no back taxes at the time of closing. Now the city's saying there is closing, so there's a glitch in the system somewhere. His case is not the only case. We had the same issue this year.
Okay.
They had us listed as the owner.
Owner since the house was built, which is not accurate.
What did y'all do about the situation?
We wound up having to
We
pay it,
paid it.
but we paid interest, penalties, and the back taxes for 2015, that we didn't own the house until June 6th of 16. But the city has us as the owner
Since the house
since
was
the
built.
house was built.
So the
40 years.
system's got some glitches in it, so he is not gonna be the only one that's got an issue with, what do you mean we have back taxes?
It's a rash based on us changing our
Well, and that's what,
Yes,
that is one of my
it's
concerns, that what kind of backlashes we're gonna have for this, what I mean. And there again,
Yeah.
the closing,
And like
a
he
closing
said,
attorney should, that's supposed to all, right,
We paid half of everything.
right.
And then in 2017, our escrow paid what was owed. And again, like county, there was no issue. And then 17, we paid, no problem. 18, all of a sudden, they're like, they're not paying it because they gotta research it, and they're like, you owe back taxes. And it's like, we didn't own the house in 2015. But escrow wound up saying,
Escrow paid it.
we'll just pay it. But, you know, there again, it's not.
Now, how
fair.
much
We-
was y'all out? May I ask?
$360.
And then
That's
we
it, but
readjusted
most of
our
that-
mortgage.
That's with the interest and the
Right.
penalties.
Interest penalties, most of it, no that.
Yeah, so
It
then
was like
they increased our,
$190.
Yeah.
our
Was the
monthly.
actual, tax,
It's 188 and some odd change plus penalties and
Penalties,
interest, it's
yeah.
like $360.
Right,
And
okay.
then they increased our mortgage by
Yeah.
X amount to make sure that it didn't happen again. You know,
can you look
so,
into their,
They added to your escrow.
Let me explain something. So, it has to do with when you do a conversion, like like say you don't own it in 2015, or say for Mr. S situation, he purchased it in October of 14, okay? So the tax bill is still gonna go out in that owner for that year in January of that year, 2014. So the bill's gonna go out in that person's name instead of the new owner. Until the following year is when the new owner gets the bill in their name. But when you do a software conversion, it picks up the current owner and then any back taxes that is owed for that location